Hey guys, NogurtGaming here, and today I'm going to be doing a discussion on what I think about Zoe, the aspect of light, the new champion that is coming this way to League. Now in this video I'm going to be discussing her abilities, items I think that are going to be good with her, and on top of that, what lanes I think she will do strongly in and why. So before we discuss this, I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. First of all, to me, she seems like she's a support mage hybrid, a little bit like Karma. So I think she's going to be a good definitely a game changer with all of the abilities I'm going to be discussing. There's so many different ways to combine items, so let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to be getting on to in this video is her abilities. So she's got a passive where every time she does a spell, it does magic bonus damage. Now, it seems a little OP in my opinion, because like not very many people have a huge amount of damage right away that they're going to be able to use. It seems like it's like Lux's passive, Victor's Q, and Kennan's passive without the stun stack. Just because of each of those things do something after a spell, and it's really kind of confusing, in my opinion. So I'm gonna assume that that's where they got the idea from, is from another champion. All the other champions is where they got their ideas from. I think that it should definitely have a stack on top of it to, well, basically I think it should have a cooldown on it, just so it makes it a lot more fair, and like the cooldown should go away later in the match, like the farther you get into the match. It seems like a lot of other champs do have this kind of ability, so it's not that unique in my opinion, but it's still a good idea. It seems like you're going to be able to kill people a lot easier. Combining it with the Thunderlords is just a massive, you can probably do huge amounts of damage with that. So it's like you'd use a spell, and then I don't know how, I'm trying to remember, I think Thunderlords it's like use a spell, and then after 3 autos you do extra damage, so it's like you do the extra damage, and then Thunderlord's Decree would go off, and you do extra damage on top of that, and that seems pretty sweet. So next up is her Q called Palstar, and basically what happens with it is she throws out this little projectile, and it basically does more damage the farther it goes on first cast. If it doesn't hit, it just stays in place basically, and the second cast can launch it to a position near Zoe. Jeez, I need to get my head in the game. So I think this will actually be kind of easy to dodge, my opinion, just because it has to travel such a long way to deal that extra damage. So one thing I would definitely like to see happen to it is it should go through minions and have a slight slow added to the second cast of that ability. Let's see. Maybe I'd have to say near the end of the game, maybe 20% add to it on the second cast. Just a little something to reward the player in case they actually manage to hit someone with that second ability cast. Another thing I think is great about it is if they don't add in the slow, there's still the, I think it's Relay Scepter, the Crystal Scepter, and what that does is it slows enemies, like minions and champions, wherever it hits them with an ability. So if they did choose to add on the slow, it would be kind of a rewarding and cool thing. It's like, oh wow, I hit them with my slow, look at that, I did a lot of damage. On top of that, in my opinion, I think it would just be cool to have a little bit of a slow on it. Would make her into a little bit of a support hybrid, but it seems like a pretty good idea. And if they don't do that, then you have items to basically give it a slow. I've spent too much time on this slow thing. So next up is the W, called Spell Thief. Now, I absolutely love the idea of this ability. So what it does is, enemy summoner spells and active item cast drop spell shards, and minions can also drop spell shards. What these spell shards do is, depending on what is dropped, is what you're able to use. So say someone drops a flash, you can use flash. If they drop redemption, you can use redemption. On top of that, when you use a summoner spell, you gain movement and you shoot 3 missiles at the nearest enemy. So those missiles, in my opinion, are a little bit like Ari's W. The bonus speed means it's an easier kill setup. So your flash, you've just got speed and missiles to go along with that, so you're going to be dealing a lot more damage. On top of that, you can use you can basically use enemy spells to your advantage. So say someone ignites you, or tries to at least ignite. I could do basically the same thing on an enemy, and it would take him out. So he ignites me, I'm like, hey dude, that's just not gonna happen, and ignite them back. Or if someone uses barrier and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do a huge amount of damage, you just pick it up and you have a barrier on your own. So basically, you counteract any summoner spell that they use to get away or to be aggressive. And I think that's amazing, in my opinion. It's going to make people play a lot smarter with all of their summoner spells. And it's going to be a huge game changer. Let's see. This is why, in my opinion, she would be an absolutely amazing help, basically. Yeah, she'd be amazing support with the redemption, the extra redemption. Like, someone would use it as redemption, and it's like, alright, now the support and the ADC on the enemy team has more health. Well, guess what? I just picked up a spell shard, I gain extra speed, and on top of that, I can use redemption now too, so all of a sudden you have this huge advantage. And if you've already used your passive before, you get an extra advantage on top of that advantage. It's just like this huge, big, happy fun time for your bot lane. And it's just absolutely amazing, in my opinion. I just absolutely love the idea of this ability. I think it's a really cool thing. The only thing that's not really unique is just a missile. That's basically it. What I would like to see happen with, let's see, her E. It's the most amazing. This character's so cool. She does so much. Like, her kit. It's like you fling yourself and you stun, and you take abilities, and you use them against the people who end up using them against you. It's like if someone tries to counter you, you counter them back. I absolutely love it. I don't know. So, basically what it does is it detonates on the first target hit. So I'm really hoping this ends up having at least some kind of, range to it. Sorry guys, I stopped talking. Why did I do that? So I'm hoping it has, range. Well, it does have range. It's absolutely amazing. What it does is when you throw it over top of the wall, it gains a little bit of extra range. But on top of that, when you hit an enemy with it, it can slow them if you have the, crystal scepter on them. So you slow them. And another thing on top of that is this amazing thing called Drowsy. And basically what it does is after a certain amount of time it puts an enemy champion to sleep. Now what's amazing about this is that on top of that, sleep reduces the cooldown of this ability. And you reduce the cooldown of it when you sleep them. So basically just infinite sleeps for days. Another thing that I would love to absolutely see with this guy is, oh boy, oh, okay, I'm dead. Dang it, okay. So, really hoping it goes through minions. This will make ganks so much easier, because you'll just walk into a lane, throw out the thing. It stays on the ground too, so you can throw up a trap, and it's like, here's the thing, if you try running away from my team, you fall asleep. So you can throw it into like some bushes that they're heading towards, and then they're kind of forced to go to your team. So, combined with Leontry or other on-hit items would be absolutely amazing. So here's a combo. You use Q, W, and then E, or E, Q, W. And you'll just do massive amounts of burst damage with this character. On top of that, it's another strong support spell. So if an enemy ADC is getting away, then, well, you're gonna be able to take out their ADC. So they're getting away, you throw it out, catches them, they fall asleep. Then your ADC all of a sudden has a chance. And if your ADC was low, and you were able to use Redemption on them, then that's just absolutely amazing. It's just so cool. Like, all of a sudden, you're sleeping them, healing your teammate, gaining movement speed, and on top of that, you're dealing extra damage. It's like, basically, she's an amazing hybrid of support and damage. She doesn't have a spell or heal. She has a sleep, which does extra damage. She can help your teammates with that redemption. I just can't wait to try out this champion. She sounds so cool. So, another thing on top of that is her ultimate. And what you can do is, you use it, pop up to a location. You can't move while you're popping up to that location. And on top of that, when you go to the location, you can use the spells. So like you pop out in a direction, you can use a whole bunch of spells. And that combos with your passive too. So you launch yourself immediately, do a huge amount of damage. Cast some spells, throw in like a couple tags from like a Rage Blade. And you've got like the perfect combo for like basically an insta-kill. Like this guy has a QWER combo that's an insta-kill. So, basically, I think, in my opinion, she's basically the new Karma. Like, there's no... Well, there is a couple lanes that she would be bad in. I think she'd be bad in top and in the jungle. The jungle, because she just doesn't really have any abilities at farm. It's kind of like a weaker Ezreal, in my opinion, is what she would be like. While she can run into lanes easily and just make team fights so much easier for your team if you have her. If you have her combined with an Ornn and an Ivern, you're just gonna win team fights. Just like a strong tank, Ivern and Ornn, just boom, amazing instant win. You can slow people immediately, just warp into the lane, throw out a couple abilities, flash back. If there's something that's maybe gonna potentially kill you when you fall backwards, use Redemption. Now you have to be careful while you're ulting, because if someone stuns you while you're popped forward, there's going to be almost no way that you're going to be able to get really away from them. On top of that, crap. Okay. On top of that, basically, yeah, you launch yourself in, but you take such a big risk. But if you land everything, the risk is so rewarding for this champion. Abilities that pair really well, not items, not abilities, items. We're moving on to items now. I really like a lot of things I can combine with her. This right here, Luden's Echo. Combine it with your W that already gives you speed. You gain charges. Your next spell expends all charges, dealing 100 plus 10% ability power. So combine that with a passive, and you just do a huge amount of burst damage in an instant. Basically just shred someone. It's like, oh look, there's your life. Here I come with this item, and W, and you take out a quarter of their health. On top of that, you've got the Leontri's Torment. Did I already say that? I'm pretty sure I didn't. If I did, I apologize. On Leontri's Torment, you can combine that with your E, so you sleep them. So if you have the Crystal Leontri in that charge, basically you sleep them, and they're on fire while they're slept, and then you use an ability, and they're slowed as soon as they wake up, and they take extra damage from both the drowsy effect and your passive. And then you just basically finish them off with your ultimate while they're trying to get away. And if you get your cooldown low enough, you can just spam abilities all day long. Like, the potential for this character is so amazing. So what I would recommend for her is, well, let's see what items we have today. Luden's Echo, combine the Lich Bane with her basic attack passive, 75% basic attack damage. Combine that with her passive, and she just does a huge amount of damage all of a sudden after one ability. There's Leontri's Torment. That's a really strong thing to combine with her abilities. This champion is just absolutely amazing. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. On top of that, there's also a Zonia's Hourglass. I would definitely combine that. Wow, what a great team. So Leontri's Torment. So basically, you jump in, all of a sudden, they stun you, but you have Leontri's Torment, and then your team comes in as you've jumped in and you've placed a drowsy, and you already have someone to pick you up immediately after you get down. So, based off of that notion, I think this character will be an amazing addition to League. When combined with Ornn she'll basically set up your Ornn, Ivern will just set up your team for a win. She's like a support secondary mage. So that's my next discussion, is what lane she's going to be good in. Now, depending on what you want to play her as, is what lane she's going to be good in. In my opinion, I think that she would be very good in, let's see, where to begin. Let's see, she'd be good support. Like, all of her abilities combined with support. And it's insane. Like, her E and her W, basically, just go bot lane with her. Any match, just go bot lane. She has so much more potential bot lane. Like, I just can't wait for this champion. Mid lane, she's like Karma. She's not specifically made for that lane, but she'll do okay in it. That's basically it. So, overall summary, she has a huge potential combiner with Ornn, and you win, basically. Just combine her with Ornn and you win. On top of that, her abilities, I'd like to see some changes. Add a slow to her Q, make her E and her Q go through minions, and then you win the match. I've been NogurtGaming. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. And until next time, if you want more if you want more stuff like this, comment. I'll be very glad to review more champions as they come along, and even current champions and what I'd like to see happen to them. So if you like this video, comment that you like it, comment what you think would also be a good add-on to her, and until next time, I'm NogurtGaming, and I'll see you soon.